Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Today we have a bunch of really cool mods in store, handful of weapon mods, a utility mod, and even a Vertibird mod, which is super interesting. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some mods. For our first mod, we're going to be checking out a new melee weapon, and that's going to be the Bowie Knife by Flarescale. The Bowie Knife is a new knife weapon added to the level list, so you will find it on raiders and gunners and also on merchants. This is a very simple melee weapon, it is just a knife. However, unlike vanilla knives, it's actually quite large and has enough weight to stagger enemies, which gives us an actual use aside from the regular combat knife. There are a handful of modifications that can help tweak the damage, as well as a stealth blade, which will increase your sneak attack damage, which is always helpful for a melee build. Speaking of base damages, the base damage for the knife is 12, it has an AP cost of 21 in VATS, a weight of 2 pounds, a swing speed of fast, and a stagger amount of small. That being said, with the use of modifications and perks, this thing can be turned into a pretty damaging weapon. While it is just a knife mod, I actually really appreciate the effort gone into this, as there isn't enough weapon variety in Fallout 4, and I think that's something we've all come to realize over time. In Fallout New Vegas, you had so much variety for every weapon type. If you wanted a knife, it could be a kitchen knife, a Bowie knife, a combat knife. There were just options. Whereas in Fallout 4, it's just knife. It's a combat knife, but that's the only one. That's it. And this adds some variety, which I appreciate. Variety and letting you choose exactly how you want to play the game is kind of important in an RPG, and this mod helps with that. So very much appreciated by me, and another wonderful mod by Flarescale. For our next mod, we're actually going to be checking out a weapon from Fallout 76, that being the Fixer by Crimson Knight 77. Now, if you've played 76 for an extended period of time, you're probably aware of the Fixer. A very good unique weapon, perfect for a stealth build. Well, now it has been replicated in Fallout 4 with its own unique skin, which is super cool to differentiate it from the vanilla combat rifles. In order to get this thing in Fallout 4, you're actually going to need to complete the Tradecraft quest for the railroad, and then after that you will be able to purchase this from Tinker Tom. I actually love this implementation, as it gives you a reason to go and do the railroad questline. At the very least for me, I never really have the drive to go do that, but now there's actually a reward that's pretty worth it, aside from, say, the Deliverer. So when it comes to the Fallout 4 version, there's a pretty unique legendary effect. It reads, improved stealth, faster sneaking movement speed. VATS critical shots do plus 100% damage. It has a 25% faster fire rate, a 15% faster reload, and the VATS critical meter fills 15% faster. That's about 5 or 6 legendary effects in one, making this thing extremely powerful. So again, really making it worth going out and seeking this weapon through the railroad questline. I also like that it really fits the theme of the railroad. Very sneaky, definitely meant for a sneak type character who is probably going to be going the railroad route anyways. So it just kind of makes sense, and it works. I really like this implementation, like I said, and I really do like the custom skin on this thing, plus all of the attachments you can throw on in the Fallout 4 weapon customization system makes this a really cool, unique weapon, while still staying very vanilla themed. Great job by Crimson Knight 77. Our next mod is going to be the Fallout 3 Vertibird Replacer by Strider. This mod is going to do exactly what it sounds like. It replaces the Fallout 4 Vertibird with that of the Fallout 3 style, also present in Fallout New Vegas, which some people may prefer a lot. I think I'm one of those people as well. Now, that being said, in terms of lore, this Vertibird makes sense, but in terms of realism, I think the Fallout 4 one makes a little bit more sense in the way that it functions. Having an open cockpit so you can actually see while flying, as well as having open bay doors for that minigun, makes a lot more sense than the Fallout 3 version. That being said, what the Fallout 3 version lacks in realism, it makes up for in aesthetics. I really like the way that this thing looks. It's super sleek and has that Fallout style. Definitely very interesting. What's also really interesting is how they implemented the minigun. There's now a little window that you would actually activate it through. The only thing that makes that a little funky is when you do get into it, you kind of clip through the wall to access the minigun. But at the moment, there's not a whole lot you can do about that, because that's just the animation that's present in Fallout 4. The mod author does strictly state that this is a work-in-progress mod, so you will experience bugs, and that's pretty likely. This is a Vertibird Replacer, and the Vertibirds already were a little funky in Fallout 4, so having something that completely replaces their model, things are going to get weird. That being said, it's still super cool and quite an achievement by Strider. Really cool mod regardless, and if you want to try it yourself, it will be linked in the description as always. Our next mod is going to be a nice little utility mod, and that's going to be Access Your Backpack by Lice23. This mod takes D. Magnus's Accessible Backpacks mod as a base and modifies it to make it more accessible to all backpack mods that you download. So essentially what this does is it provides activators that you can access that will open up your backpack as a separate inventory. Whereas in D. Magnus's mod, this only worked for the Backpacks of the Commonwealth mod, this mod actually works with all backpack mods while sacrificing some immersiveness. Now, what I mean by that is you actually open up this inventory via an activator, and it's not specifically assigned to a backpack, meaning you could technically open up this inventory with no backpack equipped. That being said, it provides a more immersive experience by keeping your backpack as a separate inventory, which gets really confusing. You're sacrificing immersiveness for more immersiveness. Such is the struggle for Fallout 4 modders. There are 5 activators that you can grab: an 80-pound backpack, 100 pounds, 120 pounds, 160, and then finally a 200-pound backpack. So you grab the one for the carry weight that you want to be using, whatever you find is more balanced in your game, and then you activate it, and that's going to open up a new inventory with said carry weight. These activators can be crafted at the chem lab, and each of the different carry weights actually opens up a separate inventory. So hypothetically, you could carry another one on you for, say, your companion's backpack and open that one up on the fly as well. I also learned from testing this mod that you should not put a backpack inside of itself. You will lose any items in that backpack forever, so be very careful. Definitely a very interesting take on the backpack system and an alternative way to open up inventories. Super interesting and super neat, and can definitely have a place in an immersive load order. Really interesting mod, definitely worth checking out if you're interested. And then finally, we have the Winchester Pack by robbythekidd. Now, we actually did a full breakdown of this mod on the channel, as there are some really cool rifles in this mod. 4, in fact. The 2 regular versions, the Model 1894 as well as the 1876, and then 2 legendary versions, the Bowie and the Onyx. These are some beautiful looking rifles, and they are compatible with Hitman's right-handed lever action animation mod, so definitely go and grab that for the best immersive experience. There is a decent amount of customization here, different receivers, different ammo types, as well as the options for some scopes on some of these rifles. The uniques are super cool looking. You can grab the Bowie off of Red Tourette, who is a raider boss, and then you can grab Onyx off of Ronnie Shaw at the castle. Lever actions have always been one of my favorite weapons in Fallout ever since Fallout New Vegas, and even a little bit in Fallout 3 if you grabbed Lincoln's repeater. And now there are even more options in Fallout 4. Like I mentioned with the Bowie Knife, variety is the spice of life, and I really love having the option to choose exactly what weapons I want to use in Fallout. And having this as options for more lever actions as opposed to just the one from Far Harbor is amazing. There's so many options in modding for different types of assault rifles, pistols, even shotguns, but not much in the way of lever actions, so having a pack that adds 4 new rifles, pretty nice and definitely worth grabbing for myself. Gonna be a mainstay in my load order for time to come, and all of these rifles are added to the leveled list, aside from the unique ones, of course. So you can find these actually out in the world on raiders and gunners, and of course at vendors. And with that, we bring this video to a close. If you want to try any of these mods for yourself, they will be linked in the description as always, and they will include Xbox links if there are any available. And I hope you enjoyed. If you like any of these mods, go out there and support the authors. Endorse their mods if you enjoyed them, consider donating if that's something you're able to do, but most of all, just show your appreciation for all of their hard work. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a rating, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace! And hey, shout out to all of our patrons for their continued support. As always, your donations are greatly appreciated and help to fund videos just like this one, so again, thank you.